Okay, so I put up a new version of GourMAME, and that was inspired by the Sinistar changes that were made by that other person. And so this build will actually allow you to play, Sinistar with the proper, sounds coming out of front and rear speakers if you have a surround sound setup. Just note that if you do have a setup like that, you want to disable the surround sound upmixing feature because you don't actually want to upmix it. You just want to let the sounds come out of the front and rear. So you can play around with that. There's also two other things that I put out there. There's a new version of Final Fight, that has a bunch of little changes, and there's also a small multi-launcher program that I created, and it's a pretty niche thing. There's probably a single-digit number of people on the planet who would actually use it, but basically the problem is there isn't a good way to actually launch multi networked machines in MAME, for example, from a front end. Because let's just say that you want to do like a linked virtual racing setup, for example. There isn't really a good way to do that just using like batch files and other stuff like that, because you'll see command prompts open and it'll be ugly when it's opening different things, and there will be like window fighting and all that shit. And so basically what that multi-launcher program does, because it's a background process, to launch the like multiple MAME instances, you can basically have a completely clean launch from your front end. And so what you would do there is you would set it up so that in your front end you point to the multi-launcher, and then the multi-launcher's XML file would be configured to launch your multiple instances of like a networked MAME. And so you can basically have like a seamless launch experience there. So those are the things. So I mean, I did find it kind of funny that Belmont was basically saying that for 10 years people have been bitching about the surround sound, and nobody's done anything about it. And for what is it, years now, there's been a build of MAME that completely implements it and works fine. And the truth is, you don't really need user defined geometry for it to work, because the reality is there aren't really that many speaker configurations, and the mappings are pretty obvious. Like it's like if you have a 7.1 setup, you pretty much know where the speaker configurations in MAME are going to go. If you have a 5.1 setup, you pretty much know. If you have a 4.1, like a 4-channel setup, you pretty much know. So it's not like it's really that hard to do the mappings. I mean, it's really more of a problem when you have situations like Sinistar where you do want to do an arbitrary mapping. And so that's kind of a separate issue. But I mean, really, like the Sinistar thing has nothing to do with surround sound. I mean, it isn't. That's purely just a speaker mapping issue, regardless of surround sound. So in any case, yeah, those are just three, programs you could tinker around with if you want to. I guess I could show the. So with Final Fight, just so you can see here, like the new player label pulsing effect. See how the player label actually matches the palette of the character you selected, and see how it just kind of pulses. It's a minor change, but that's There have been just, like a bunch of just, like really tiny changes with Final Fight, but in any case, that's those are the latest toys for the time being. I'm still working on Samurai Shodown 2, but it's just it's not there yet.